Hello, this is Mark Smith with Family Tree Counseling Associates. It's a beautiful sunny morning here at the end of March in the winter in Indiana that just won't end. We are ready for some warmth here, but the ground was frosted over yet again. I've just woken up. I'm clutching my coffee close to me. We are going to discuss 12 keys to healing a broken heart. And I understand that this video, Mr. Polly's chasing the cats, that this video is geared to people that are maybe currently in pain. And I know a lot of you aren't suffering from broken hearts just this now, but you have in the past. And there will be times in the future when you will suffer from a broken heart. So it's a normal human condition, and there are ways to make it worse, and there are ways to work your way through it. So here are 12 things I've noticed in my work as a therapist for 26, 27, 28 years that have helped me work with people and get them to the other side of their grief. So number one, the first thing, if you have a broken heart, especially related to romantic love and marriage, is a paradigm shift. Because when you're experiencing that, let's say you've been left, your spouse informs you that they do not love you anymore, that they're going to be leaving the marriage, and then later you discuss that he is living with his coworker. Well, the normal feeling is to feel a bit like a freak, and to feel not good enough, and to feel, humiliated, and like you did something wrong. And the paradigm shift is, don't see it as a bad thing. Okay, I know, that sounds a little crazy. Don't see it, the broken heart, as abnormal. It's normal. Almost everybody gets their heart broken. There's a song along those lines. It's not registering right now, but I think it was an old 60s song. See this as a sign of strength, because if you're able to really feel your pain, that's exactly what it is. If you're a weak person and you're not able to face your reality, you'll go on a drunken bender where you'll wake up from your bender months later, or you'll jump into a new relationship. You'll find ways to medicate yourself so you don't have to really feel your broken heart. So see it as a sign of strength, see it as normal, see it as inevitable. Marriage was created to break your heart. And I don't have a lot of time to elaborate on that, but I've talked about it in a lot of my other videos. Marriage was designed to make you friggin' miserable. So the paradigm shift is, now it's really making you friggin' miserable, which is what marriage was designed to do. It was designed to tear down your defenses, which is the beginning of a growth process in you, the beginning of an adventure. The second key to healing a broken heart, I'm not trying to get people to sign up or anything, but it really is vital that you enlist the services of a really especially good therapist who understands grief, certainly somebody who understands marriage, Don't go to a therapist who'll sit there and agree with you as to what a jerk your soon-to-be ex-husband is. That ain't going to help you. You can get that from your friend down at the bar, for free, except the drinks. Whether or not your spouse is a jerk is pretty much irrelevant. The important thing is, why'd you pick him and why'd you keep him? And why didn't you see this coming? Better figure that out. So these basketball teams involved in the NCAA tournament, I've got 2 games today I'm fired up to watch. I can still win my pool. They are centered around coaches. The important figure on those teams isn't the players. The players come and go, but the coach builds the program over time. It was said of the great football coach Don Shula that he can take his and beat yours, and then he can turn around and take yours and beat his. The key factor is the coach, and if your heart is just smushed and crushed and you don't understand why it happened to you, the best investment you can make into your life would be to enlist the services of an especially talented and helpful therapist. The third key to healing is somebody needs to turn the lights on. And by turning the lights on, I mean to help you have the key insights to figure out who you are and how and why your heart got broken. That might be this aforementioned therapist. It might be a book. It might be a talk with a friend. I had a fellow this week who sat down with a good friend over a drink, and the friend gave him brilliant advice. And then my client contacted me to run it past me, and I said, you got a good friend there who told you the truth. So whoever turns the lights on, it's time to get the light turned on, because if you're walking around in the dark, you're going to bang your shins on the furniture, and you're going to take a bad situation and make it worse. You got to understand who you are, where you came from, and if anybody it feels has victimized you, you need to figure out how you let that happen. Because nobody can victimize you without your full cooperation and complacency. Which brings me to my next point. You've got to shift out of a victim mentality. A victim mentality is cancer. It is going to take something that is on a scale of 1 to 10, a 2, not very much. But if you feel victimized, it can crank it up to an 8. I mean, it makes you a sour person. It causes you to harbor hatred, and worst of all, it keeps you from knowing what's true about yourself. It robs you of the ability to know what's true about yourself, which is what the relationship pain was there to provide for you to begin with. I encourage folks that have been through relationships that have ended is, let's sift through the ashes like a fire investigator would sift through the ashes of a house that's burned down. Let's find out if it was arson or, if a spark, came off of a toaster. I mean, let's find out how this thing happened, and we'll study it. But one thing is for sure, there are no bad guys and there are no victims. If all you learn is your spouse was a jerk, guess what? Next guy's going to be just as big of a jerk. If you figure out that because you were wounded in a certain way by one or both of your parents, and that person tends to be your type, because we can go through and pick 3 boyfriends that were like that guy plus this husband, well, then we're on to something. And then as you eventually enter dating, you will have your eyes open, you will have your coach at your ready, and you're not going to get run over by that Mack truck this time around, because you've been enlightened and you're being careful, and you're not going to just jump in blindly to the same pattern that's bit you on the butt 4 other times. The fifth thing that will help you heal your broken heart is to feed your recovery by reading a lot of books about your issues. If you feel abandoned, then read books on abandonment. If you're overly defensive, then read books on shame. If you're too passive and you have low self-esteem, read books on codependency. If you're self-absorbed and workaholic and controlling, read books on counterdependency. As a man, if you avoid conflict and your wife's wearing the pants in the family and you can't really voice your feelings, then you need to read a book called No More Mr. Nice Guy, a book written for male codependents. So feed your recovery, and it'll get better and bigger. You can watch family tree counseling videos. We cover just about everything. You get 20 minutes of real solid recovery information. It's all for free. And then you get 20 more minutes in the next one. We got 209. So feed your recovery. Number 6, cooperate with your pain. Embrace it. We live in a culture where there's a pill for everything. And in our medicine practices, generally the focus is on the symptoms and not so much on the underlying causes. And we walk in and we're saying, let's make these symptoms go away right now. So in this process, it takes a lot of courage, but the fastest way through your emotional pain is directly through it. Do not be afraid to cry. Do not be afraid to feel sad. There is a time and a season for everything, the Bible says. There is a time to dance, and there is a time to cry. And this is a time to cry, which brings me to my next point. You'll cry rivers of tears. And that takes a lot of courage, but that's how God made us, to grieve. Even men should cry. We're all human, and when we get our heart broken, one of the most courageous and strong things a man or a woman can do is to cry your guts out. Cry until there are no more tears. A couple days later, do it again. A couple days later, do it again. And you will reach a place where the tears run out. And I guess I'm not just talking about a broken heart related to romantic love. This also pertains with death of a loved one. I'm doing some work with a gal who's had a parent die, and she's been very courageous as she's embraced the pain, which sort of has gone against her nature. She's a strong, in-control person, and all of a sudden, with the death of this parent, she's had a lot of emotion come up, and she wants to buck up and avoid it. But she dutifully comes to therapy, and she cries, and it's a beautiful thing. So pay attention to your pain, embrace it, don't run from it, see it as a good thing. I was working with another gal recently, and some abandonment came up as she learned some secrets that her husband had, and it really was as if a cyclone blew into the room and blew into her soul, and then blew into the marriage. The intensity of this broken heart that night was just astounding. what I kept trying to get her to see was it really wasn't about the secrets and it wasn't about the husband. It was about her childhood. And she enlisted him to dig that material up. And he's a gift. And he's doing her a favor. And we're getting at some deep stuff. So shift the focus off of wanting to throw a rock at that guy and grieve and cry and embrace who you are and where you came from and why you picked who you picked. Which brings me to the next point, which is number 8. If at all possible, stay in your relationship. Your marriage was designed to help you to heal. And even when it gets really, really hard and really, really painful, if both parties can do the work, then it certainly is a better option to buck up and board the back door and lock it and say there is no back door. We are going to do the work. We are going to heal our wounds, and we know that each other is the best tool to help the other person heal those wounds. Now, unfortunately, if one person bails, you can't do their work for them. And if they make that choice to jump into a new relationship or to hide from their pain or to villainize you, that you can't do anything about. All you can do is be non-judgmental, non-reactive, non-victim-y, be loving, turn the other cheek, continue to do your work and pray. And maybe God will change their heart. But don't feel shame if that doesn't work out. The next way to heal a broken heart will surprise you, and that is you'll probably have some you would call them nightmares. I would call them dreams that give you a picture into your soul. And you'll be waking up a lot at 3 and 4 in the morning, either by a dream or just by your sadness and your shock. But write your dreams down and bring them into your therapist and kick them around, because we dream in code. If we dreamed directly about everything, we'd never get any sleep. But the dreams can be just a powerful window into your soul and can give you a lot of really powerful insight into who you are and where you came from and what's going on with you in that particular season of your life. Number 10, group therapy, my friends, is a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful place to get support. It generally is pretty inexpensive. And within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it feels like you're in a room of your very best friends. And I just can't say enough about group therapy, especially for people who are healing a broken heart. You will get feedback, you will get friendship, you'll get a hearty hug, you'll get tissues to dry off your tears. And you'll have a community where people understand because they're either there with you or they had been there with you in the not too distant past. Number 11, take really good care of yourself during this time period. It's okay to take time off of work. It's okay to spend a little money to make life easier during your most difficult time of your life. Get massages. Be tender and kind with yourself. Spend time with friends. Travel. Whatever it is that you enjoy. Now, what I would discourage you from doing in terms of taking care of yourself would be to sit at home and drink 6 glasses of wine a night while you're watching TV. Or I sometimes, this is one of mine, my family has a bit of a food addiction. You might be able to tell I've gained a pound or two. And I go months and months at a time without having any sweets. But of late, I've been eating ice cream, and it tastes better now than it ever has my whole life for some reason. So try to not be like me and eat too much ice cream, but eat a little bit of ice cream. You know, you're grieving, and if you want ice cream, get some ice cream. Just don't, eat gallons of the stuff. And then the final key to healing your broken heart is if you do all the top 11, you will see the light at the end of the tunnel. You'll have hope, you'll have faith. Therapy will seem like you're going to the spa, not the dentist. And it won't be a heavy thing. It'll be an adventure. And what I tell married couples in midlife who've gone through hell and have done work, I say, your best years are ahead of you, and they're coming here pretty quick, because you're going to have a roadmap that you've never had before, and you're going to be fighting a lot less than you ever did before, because you're going to understand your issues. You've got time, you've got some money, you've got your health. It's going to be good times, blessed times. And for single people, I say the same thing. Yeah, you're divorced. Yeah, this is hard, but you're going to heal so much and learn so much that when you get back in the game, you are going to attract a healthier partner. You're going to have the skills to build something solid. You're not going to blow something up and make, big messes. The reason your future is healthier because of the sincerity and the depth of your recovery process. So I feel your pain. I've had my heart broken for various reasons, and it's a good thing. It's where we grow the most. That's where we heal the most. And it's a sign of great courage for you to face off with your feelings and do the work. So thank you for watching today. If you haven't signed up for our channel, Family Tree Counseling, encourage you to subscribe to that. Also, I have 6 books on various topics on our website, familytreecounseling.com, that include a book on abandonment that's really good if you're in a relationship where there's a lot of jealousy and drama and fighting. Very good book for that. I have a book on recently released book on shame that's a lot easier to read than the famous book on shame. And I have a pretty best-selling book on fair recovery. And I also have a book on counter dependency. So thank you for watching. Take really good care of yourself. Know that you're normal. Know that your tears are a gift. And you, my friend, have a bright future because you're doing the work and you're showing the courage. Thank you.